Welcome to another episode of Meat Revival. On today's show, we're going to use a few little leftovers and make some Brunswick stew. This is one of my favorite things to do.
No. Wait a minute. I'm from Arkansas, Oklahoma, Texas. Tell me what a Brunswick stew is.
Brunswick stew is a stew made, it was originated down in South Georgia. And it was really a leftover, utilizing some vegetables. This is my take on it. I don't get as fancy of it with the lima beans and all of that kind of stuff, but okay. I do throw some different things in. I throw some sausage in. But I think we're going to just get right into it and get going.
Awesome. Let's do it.
Cooking it on our Rec Tec Matador. We're going to start off with a little Conecuh sausage.
That Conecuh sausage, where is that pretty readily available?
In southeast United States it is. If you can't find the Conecuh sausage, any sort of like a Hickory smoked sausage will do.
Okay.
We've got these cut up into small little bite-sized pieces. We're going to basically just get a little bit of a char on it. So we're going to cook these, and you can see this thing's hot. It's getting them cooked up really nice and fast. This little cooker is great, man. You could do things on the back patio with the tailgate. And the versatility of it is just second to none. And so we're going to do...
Now the Matador, that's a Rec Tec product, right?
It is a Rec Tec product. It's their one gas-powered product that they have.
Okay, and this is Rec Tec, R-E-C-T-E-C, RecTecGrills.com, right?
Yep. So we're getting these going. I'm going to step off on the side, wipe my face. It's hot here. Standing over this cooker is a little warm as well. So we're gonna get this cooked up, and the beautiful thing with this cooker is we're able to get these cooked up, and we don't have to necessarily get them all out. We can just put them over to the side and hold. So you can see we're getting a nice little bit of a crisp on these sausages.
So now this sausage you got, this Conecuh brand sausage, is that a pre-cooked sausage, or do you need to make sure that if you use a raw sausage, you cook it before, or will it cook right here?
It'll cook right here. This cooker's hot enough. As with any sausage, I say you still want to take it up to that 170 degree or higher, just to for your own safety.
Right.
Anytime you're cooking any sort of product.
You don't want to get anybody sick.
No, you never want to get anyone sick. So we're going to pull these up out of the way. It'll also let them drain a little bit. And next thing we're going to do is we are going to add, I had pre-seasoned some chopped up chicken thighs, some Springer Mountain Farm chicken thighs with some of the Twisted Q brown sugar hickory pork rub. This is another one of the American Royal rubs.
That's the American Royal champion that made this rub.
Boot and Booty out of Scottsdale, Arizona.
Boot and Booty, my old friend Sterling Smith out of Scottsdale, Arizona.
So it says it's a pork rub, but we're using it on chicken. I really like just playing with rubs and trying it on some different things. So we're going to get this chicken in there. I'm going to wipe my face again.
So when you put this chicken in like this is kind of like almost a stir fry.
It is. It's exactly what it is.
At some point.
You're pretty much stir frying this chicken.
Let's just pull that.
So we're going to let this cook a little bit.
So this was Twisted Q brown sugar hickory pork rub.
And we're using it on Springer Mountain Farms boneless, skinless chicken thighs.
And where can they get that Twisted Q?
They can get that at Walmart, or they can go to barbecuespot.com and order it right from there.
Awesome.
With the what I did not mention is with the sausage, it was just one large link. We got about 3 cups of cut up chicken thighs for this.
Okay.
And so we're gonna cook these up.
So you prefer to use a dark meat in this as opposed to a breast of white meat, or does it really matter?
You can use what you want. Okay. I like dark meat. I sometimes I'll mix it. A lot of times it's what I've got in the fridge.
Okay.
I'll find something in the freezer, pull it out, and go. And that's where a lot of this recipe came from. Was just leftovers. Or not leftovers, but necessarily what we had in the fridge, whether it was chicken or sausage. Sausage, to my understanding, and from what I've tried, isn't typical in a Brunswick stew.
So does this need to be completely done before you add anything else?
We do want it to be completely cooked.
Okay. So about how long are we looking at for this to cook up so this chicken gets done?
Maybe about 5 minutes.
Okay. Okay, so what Kevin's got here now, he's got the infrared and he's putting it on the chicken. And right now we're about 190 degrees right in the middle of this.
On top of the chicken.
On top of the chicken. If you go down to the bottom right there, it's climbing really fast, well over 200. But this is the beauty of the Matador. We're 160 degrees over here on this edge. So you're able to go ahead and pre-season, pre-cook some of the, you're able to go ahead and pre-cook some of the stuff that you're going to use and just slide it off to the side, right?
Yep. Nice thing too about cooking dark meat, it's forgiving. If you overcook it, it's not going to really matter when it comes to what we're doing with a stew.
Because essentially the stew's still going to cook some more too.
Exactly.
But always being food safe, you want to make sure that your chicken's done before you ever pull it out to go anywhere else with it. So how much oil did you start with in this, Kevin? Did you let the sausage kind of render its oil, its fat out to help with this?
No, actually I started with about 2 tablespoons of oil with the sausage just because I like to get that crisp, that quick crisp on it.
Okay.
And then I think I added about another 2 tablespoons before the chicken came in along with the sausage grease.
Okay.
So we're kind of cooking everything in its own flavors, melding that pork with the chicken.
And I think that's important, you know, because all the sausage you're using, the chicken, the season, you got flavors. All you're doing is blending all that together.
We're just building. We're building. You know, we're starting down here and we're getting up to that just flavor explosion when we finish this up and we have, you know, just this bowl of goodness.
Sterling Smith, I think you outdone yourself here. You want to check a little bit and see what it's at? See where we're at?
Yeah. Oh, we're done.
Yeah. What do we got there?
183.
183. Got to spot check a couple. 187.
190.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to start to push this up.
Lovely.
Let some of those lovely juices drain down. It's a nice thing, too, with this big skillet here. It's almost like a giant paella dish, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
And it lets you cook a ton, and then you can hold it up in this warming area so you can continue doing other things. So we're going to come in next with an entire red pepper that's been cut up and an entire onion. I like to go sweet onions. Valdalia onions are in seasons right now, so we're going to go with that and get these all.
Make them happy.
Yeah. Oops, got a giant pepper here.
It's okay. It'll cook down.
Let me pull that one out. But this is, you want to talk about smell-o-vision right here. You get onions and peppers going in that oil.
That sweet pepper, that sweet onion.
And what we want to do is just basically cook these onions till they're translucent. We want them to be a soft bite. We don't want a crunchy bite when we get into our stew. So we're going to do that with both the peppers and the onions. That's not going to take too much time, I don't think, with this cooker. So we're going to just spread these out and kind of let them bask in their own juices.
Why don't we let those cook, do their thing, make them get happy? We'll be right back.
That'll work. All right, well, our onions and peppers have cooked down a little bit. Now we're going to add a little bit of garlic because, in my opinion, everything's always better with a little bit of garlic. You always want to add garlic towards your end because it does have the tendency to burn easily. So we're going to do it right here. Just kind of mix it in with those peppers and onions. Add even more flavor to this dish. And like I said, if there was such thing as smell-o-vision right now, you really wish you had that at your house because this smells absolutely amazing.
So I noticed that you're using a minced garlic out of a jar. What do you think about using a fresh garlic if you roast it and press it? Is there any difference really, you think?
No, for me it's just convenience.
Okay.
I just like the convenience of being able to go in, take a scoop, know that it's consistently the same. It's usually the same size, and for flavor, I know how it's going to be.
Yeah, I'm not a good garlic chopper.
Yeah, me either.
When it comes to that, so yeah.
Me either. All right, the next step that we have is we're going to add an entire 32-ounce pint of chicken broth to this. This is going to be the start of our stew. We're going to add this all in there. and it's going to cover up that bottom really well, cool it down, so it's going to begin to heat back up. We're also going to add about a cup to a cup and a half of your favorite barbecue sauce. For today, I'm using the Lotta Bowl award-winning original barbecue sauce.
That's some good stuff, folks, there. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's a pretty classy guy that makes it too, so.
I think his wife's a little more classy.
Well, I think so too. But
we're going to stir this up a little bit, and we're going to pull our meat back down into this. So we're going to pull the meat back down, get this all start mixing up, start taking shape. Okay, remember to pull the meat down into that liquid.
so right now, it kind of looks like a soup.
It does. We're also now going to add a can. This is what size can is this? 15-ounce can of Petite diced tomatoes. Get a little bit more going in there. And then we're going to use some of that leftover pulled pork, about a pound's worth. Put that in there. And then we're going to let this simmer.
Now this meat that you got in here with the exception of the sausage, this is stuff that you had previously cooked some other time and just saved back.
Well, the chicken we had to cook, but you can easily use leftover chicken.
Right,
you can use, you can use whatever you want. And I think that's where the gist of the Brunswick Stew idea came from. It's just kind of the hobnob of...
Yeah, it's a hodgepodge of everything. Yeah.
And so we're going to get this going. Let this simmer for a little bit. We'll be right back. Let this simmer for about 30 minutes now. So the next thing we're going to do is we've lost a little bit of liquid. We're going to add a beer.
Now, why are we putting beer in the stew?
Well, I'll tell you why. When I first did this recipe, I had simmered down so much that I didn't have enough liquid, and I ran out of chicken stock, and all I had in the fridge was a beer. And I thought a beer was going to be better than water, so that's what we do, and that's what it's always been.
There you go.
And it always has to be a red stripe.
Awesome.
Got to give it that Jamaican flavor. Southern Jamaican recipe here.
You didn't use your Jamaican voice.
No. But, as with anything, anytime you cook with alcohol, whether it's liquor or beer, beer's got a really low alcohol content anyway. What we're wanting is the flavor. As this cooks and this simmers, that alcohol is going to all burn off. So you don't have to worry anything about it. But you get that flavor that's added a little bit to it. So we're going to do that. We're going to let this come back up to a simmer. And then we're going to add our potatoes to it and a little bit more barbecue rub. We'll see you in a minute. All right, next thing we're going to do, we've brought this back up to temp. After adding all the other stuff, we're going to add some red skin potatoes in here. These are just cubed up little potatoes. It's about 4 or 5 that cut into about 6 to 8 pieces per potato. Now potatoes, with the goal with this is we want these soft. So we're going to let this simmer for about 20 minutes, get these potatoes soft. And then add our corn to finish it off. But in addition to these potatoes, we're going to add just a little bit more of this Twisted Q brown sugar and hickory pork rub, just to kick that flavor up even more. I just kind of go by sight. I just like to cover the top a little bit, give it a little bit of a covering, and then we're going to just mix it all in. Let this simmer for about 20 minutes, add the corn, and we are going to be about done. Right, we've simmered our stew. Our potatoes have gotten soft. It's been about 20-25 minutes. Last thing we're going to do is add a can of corn. Doesn't have to be a can. If you've got leftover corn on the cob, if you've got leftover any sort of corn, whether it's fire roasted, whether it's the white and yellow, it really doesn't matter. It's up to you. I'm going with the fire roasted today. Give it a little bit more of a smoky flavor to it. And all we're going to really do with this is mix it in. It's going to heat up. We don't really have to cook the corn. We're just going to warm it up with the stew. We're going to mix it all in. And we're going to be ready to serve. What do you think, Mike? How's that looking?
Well, it looks pretty phenomenal. One thing you might add, too, about the corn, all the corn has to do is just get hot.
Right.
You can eat corn on the cob, right off the cob, right out of the fields.
Right out of the field.
Yeah, it's all it has to do is just get hot, and you can eat it just right off the cob.
All right, Mike, you ready to try some?
I'm ready. Let's hit it.
All right. It's going to be hot. I do got to warn you that. I like to get some of that juice in there, too. You know, you could add crackers to this. You could get some cornbread. It really doesn't matter. It's going to be good. It freezes well. If you make a big batch and you cool it, you can put it in the freezer. Thaw it out when you need to. It'll hold well for leftovers. It's pretty hot, so
Okay, here we go.
let's see. Oh yeah, that's good stuff.
Wow. That's pretty amazing.
That's not bad. I'm gonna take another bite. Well, that does it for today's episode. We want to thank you so much for visiting with us and joining us. I'm going to continue eating here, but don't forget to subscribe to the channel, ring the bell so that you know whenever we have new material released, and leave us a comment or ask us a question. We'll help you guys out with whatever we can. We'll see you next time.
Happy eating.